Hello and welcome. I am so glad that we can be here together. I am sorry for the wait, but I'm very glad that you're here. And let's get right to it. So this is what we have on the screen now. These are our Stripe elements, and we're about to use them. We're going to style them up first, and then we'll learn how to create a token. Let's style this up nice first. Here we go to the project. We will go into Scss, and we'll make a new file. The file will be called _stripe-pay.scss, and make sure you use that underscore. Now inside of that file, we have a few things to style, and if you were with me on the last lesson, you would know the names of them. They're right over here. I'm just going to put the names in. If you want to find what we're styling, you could go right to stripepay.js, and that's in components and checkout in the front end. So here we go. The first thing we'll do is @import, and what we'll import is the variable. So .variables, perfect. Now .stripe-pay. That's the first one. That kind of holds everything. We have a few more that I want to do here. We'll have end __ title. We need that one. We're going to need the row as well. So end __ row. And what else do we have here? We have the row radio, so end __ row dash radio. We have the button, so end __ button. And I think there are three more things. I know we have the grid, so let's get that. End __ grid. We need our input rows, so I think that was end __, and it was row input. Okay, row dash input. And that's enough to get us started. So let's just go right up to the top, and we'll style the container, the Stripe Pay itself. We'll put a display of flex. We'll have a flex direction of column. We'll have a justify content with space between. Let's do a background color, and let's use that slate color. So color dash slate and dark. We'll have a width that will be 90 VW for viewport width. Let's do the margin now. So this margin, we're going to have 4 inputs. So up top, we're doing 2 rem. We want from the right auto. We want from the bottom 3 rem, and from the left auto. And then we'll have a padding, which will be 3 rem. Save that up, and let's see what it looks. Oh, I didn't run the SCSS yet. So we have to import this and then run it. I'm a little rusty, I guess. Here we go. We'll import this into the main file right here, main.scss. Import // and Stripe Pay. Perfect. Now we're in there. We could save that. And here I'm just going to go ahead and yarn run SCSS. And we are up and running. We are saved, and we could see it on the page now. Here we are. It is there, and it is the same size as the cart. That's what we were looking to do, create this container. Now we have to work inside of it to make it look real nice on the inside as well. Let's get to it. First, we'll do the title. So the title will have a display of flex, a align self of center. We'll do a font size of 3 rem, nice and big, and then a color. So that we could see it, we're going to use the color gray light. So color dash gray dash light. And let's look at that title now. There we are, checkout. You can see it, it looks good. Let's move on to a row. And we know what a row is. If you go back here, you can see what a row is. We'll have a div with a row, and that's where we put the input, another div with a row, and that's where we put the card element. It's to make the input and the card element look a little bit more like each other. That's what we're trying to do by making these divs outside of them named row. Still look a little bit more like each other if we style them the same. So in the row, we'll just have a display of flex, a text align of center, and a padding of 2 rem. We'll save that up and let's see what those look like. Okay, they definitely still look different. We have some more work to do here. Let's get back to it. The next thing we have is the row radio. Now the radio is, well, I can hardly see them here, but if I highlight them, you'll see what we have here. This is the row that we'll use for the radio button. We have use saved card and save card, and we'll style that a bit later with a nice radio button on it. So just stick with me and we'll go through that. So the row radio is going to be a display of flex, a text align, oops, I said emphasis, text align of center, and a padding of 2 rem. So that's our row radio, and let's get our button put together. So this will be quite a bit. Let's do the padding first. I'm going to do 0.8 rem. Next we'll move on to the border, and the border will be none. And border's almost always none, but we did do that one button with a border, which looked pretty cool. So let's do the background color, and that'll be the blue color. So color dash blue dash light. And we could also do the color itself. The color will be color gray light. So $, then color gray light. We have the box shadow next. That's a big one to write, but we've wrote it several times. So what we'll do is all the blur and how long it is. So 0.4, make sure you type rem, then 0.8 rem, then, oops, then RGBA, and inside of here we will write 0, well, we could just do the color black. Let's do color black. $ color dash black, which we have, comma 2.2, so it's a bit see-through. All right, we got that working. Let's move down now to the width of 100%, the outline of none, and do the WebKit appearance while we're here. Appearance, perfect. WebKit appearance will be none, and the border radius will be 0 here. So we won't really curve this button like we have other buttons. The cursor will be a pointer. And I think our button's going to look pretty good. Let's take a look now. There we are with our pay button, looking pretty good. Okay, the next thing we have is the grid. Let's take a look at where the grid is. We'll head down to grid right here, Stripe Pay grid. It wraps each one of the rows, which should put them looking a little bit better. And the grid is also going to be able to put them on separate rows or different rows. And I've showed this before, so it shouldn't be too foreign. Let's do it here. Display will be grid, and grid template columns will be repeat. And inside of repeat, type auto-fit, then comma to a min-max. And the min-max that I chose was 37 rem, and a comma to 1 FR, 1 free space, take up as much space as you would like. And then let's head down to our row inputs, and we can see right here where the row inputs are, right on the input, row input. Here we go. The row input will have a font size, and the font size will be 16px4 pixels. The padding top will be 3px4 pixels again. Padding, that should be bottom, okay, and 3px. Now this, we're doing these in pixels because of what we did here. Just to quickly show you, this has to be in pixels, like font size 16px. So we're just going to roll everything in pixels here. It won't be resizing itself as beautiful as the rest of it, but we're working with a pre-made set of components here. So we have to make some sacrifices. So we'll do a background color. The background color will be the color dash white, color white. We'll have a width, and that will be 100%. We'll have an outline, that will be none. Border bottom, That should be a 3px for pixels, solid, and we're going to make it transparent. We want to have this border down here, kind of just in case. I think we have a color dash transparent. We do, beautiful. So I want to have a bottom border of 3 pixels so that when this does get highlighted and we change that bottom border's color, it doesn't move the input, say like the letters that you typed in there or the numbers, whatever digits you typed in there, doesn't move upward or downward due to the border. And that means we'll also have to do the border top. The border top will be 3px. I'm going to do a border left and right as well, both just at 0, just to set it so everything is set. Border right at 0. We'll save that up. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're looking pretty good here. This input looks pretty great. Theirs doesn't look good at all yet, but we have yet to get to theirs. Let's take a look at what else we can do to really, it is bothering me that this is a little off center, it seems like. Well, let's actually do the highlighting now so I can see if it's off center or not. So right after row input, I want to do here, right inside of it actually. Inside of row input, we're going to do end placeholder. Now here's what we're going to do with the placeholder. We'll have a color, and I'm going to pick the same color as up front, and it won't be a variable. It's AAB7C4. That's the placeholder color. There's only supposed to be 2 of these colons, not 3. Next we'll have the font family, and that will be sans serif. Okay, and let's go to the focus of it. So end focus invalid. So we're going to have 2 different focuses, valid and invalid. So when it's focused and invalid, a border bottom, and that will be 2px, or maybe we should do 3 because we had 3 up here. 3px, so 3 pixels. Solid, and then the color that we want, which I think is the pink. That'll be our rejection color. So color pink dark, and there's our pink. And then our font family, we want it to match, so we'll put in there sans serif again. Okay, so now we have to do the valid one. So we can kind of just copy this and paste it in here and change it to valid. Oops, caps lock turned on, valid. And we'll have to change this color. It'll be color blue dash light, perfect. And the font family can also be sans serif there. You might not need to do this font family. It should be inherited, but we're going to do it anyway. I like to, better safe than sorry. This is looking pretty good here. Now when we click into it, we have that pink on the bottom, that dark pink, almost red on the bottom. There's something wrong with the top. I must have typed it incorrectly. Oh boy, yes I did. I didn't finish this. Border top, so 3 pixel solid, and then we'll do the color dash transparent. Okay, let me look at that again. All right, that looks so much better. That was bothering me like crazy. Okay, much better. And now when it turns valid, high, it's blue. Perfect. We know where we are. Very good. Let's do some more work. We're going to do the stripe element. Here we go. So after everything, dot stripe, and this is capital, element. Oops. Inside of stripe element, we're going to have a padding top. That'll be 3 pixels. So we're really going to copy a lot of this. We'll have a padding bottom. That'll be 3 pixels. A background color, and that will be our color gray light. Oh, actually, did we do color gray light or did we do white here? No, we did white. So let's do color white. And we'll do a width of 100%, an outline of none, of course. we'll do a border bottom. That will be 3 pixels, and let's just copy these two because we'll have to write it twice, and I just wrote it. We'll have our 3 pixel solid, and we'll need our left and right as well, I think. I'll check the notes after I do it. Pop this in here, and yes, we need the border bottom top. We can get rid of the left and right. It doesn't seem to affect it. And then we can save that up. Let's see if it's on the screen looking good. It is on the screen, but it doesn't seem to be looking very good. And this would be the reason why I did not spell element correctly. There we go. Okay, now it's on the screen and looking good. All right, this looks really good. Good job so far, everybody. Now we have to do the focus, just like this. I want the same type of focus going on here. So we'll do end dash dash focus. And this is how you get into the focus of the element that they're giving us from Stripe. Border bottom, 3px, solid, and then it'll be the color. Oh, let me put my $, color dash blue light. Okay, and we're going to account for the invalid as well, just right under this, end dash dash invalid. And no, so anytime it's focused, it's going to know if it's invalid or not. I was just going through the Stripe documentation and thought this was the easier way to do it. So we'll do the invalid here, and that'll be border bottom, and that one will be the 3 pixel solid, and then the color pink dark. Okay, let's take a look at that now. That looks good there, and now let's type something in and leave. Okay, yeah, this is bad. Perfect, that works perfectly. It says, hey, you can't, that's not a good number, but same thing here. The second I start typing, that's a good name, that's not a name. And if we did put in a real number for this, and they give us one on the Stripe website, it's all 4 2s. It has to be an expiration in the future, a CVC, and zip can be anything you want. And you can see now it is blue, all finished up, blue. Perfect. Let's now figure out these radio buttons, which we could hardly see right now, but we'll do it under the Stripe element, call it dot radio, and get started. The color will be color dash gray dash light. And get rid of that at, perfect. The font size, let's do that at 2 rem. We're going to do a little bit of margin, so just margin here, and we're going to set everything in 2 pieces of margin, 0 and 2 rem. The cursor will be a pointer. There it is. Okay, let's see if we can see this now. Good, we could see it, it's on the screen, and when we're over it, the cursor is a pointer. Great. Now we're going to make a pseudo element. This will be pretty fun. So end, and we're going to use the after. So end after. They always like to give me 3 colons when I auto select that. So end after, we will work within there. Now name your content. Your content will just be an empty string. We're going to need margin. We'll do margin left first. Let's do margin left for 1 rem. We'll do margin right for 0.3 rem. Let's make our border. So our border for the radio, it'll be 2 pixel. It'll be solid. And we'll make it the color blue. So color dash blue light. Perfect. We'll have a border radius. Now this border radius is to make this into basically a circle. And what we want to do with that is just write 50%, and that will make it into a circle. Let's transform, and we'll use translate. And maybe I will show you a little bit more with this. Let's do it first. So translate Y. I'm just going to translate it 1 pixel. And let's give it a height and a width. So height we'll do at 2 rem. Width we'll do at 2 rem. Let's see what's on the page here. it looks like I made an error and left this in a relative position. Let me fix that. After content, we're doing position absolute. Okay, there we go. That was looking ugly for a moment, but much better right now. And we can always adjust this to move it up or down or wherever we want it to go. Right now we have it, I think from the top, what do we have going on? Nothing. I apologize to you guys. I wrote margin right. I meant this to be margin top. So where it says margin right, please change that to margin top. I was thinking that I adjusted it improperly, but I actually adjusted the wrong direction. There we go. You save card, and that's more lined up because we have the margin from the top of it. It's looking pretty good there. Now, we had other categories as well. We didn't just have the radio, we had radio -- fill. This might get a little confusing here. Just catch where we're in radio, but we're after the after. I know that's a little confusing to say. And we're going to do end -- fill. So this is dot radio -- fill. And inside of there, we're just going to do the color. That will be the color -gray -light, and the font size, which will be 2 rem. Okay. And again, we might inherit this, but that's okay. I'd rather have it here. So now we'll have the fill after. So inside of fill, we want to write end and then dash, oh, that's the wrong one. So the ampersand after. Okay, so now inside of this after here, we're going to have content. So same thing, we just want an empty string, but it needs content. We have background color. That will be the color blue light. And we'll have a transition. The transition will be all in 0.3 seconds. I'm doing the transition here because we're going to need to do transitions in a lot of this. So I'm just going to start at the bottom. We'll make our way up this time because we're pretty much done with everything on the page, I think. Yeah, we're very, very close now. What's bothering me here is this needs to be centered, meaning I did something wrong here in the row radio, right here in row radio. So we have a flex, a text-align of center, a panning of 2 rem. We need to justify that content to space evenly. So this gives you space, instead of space between pushing you to the edges, it gives you even space between and after. And you'll see this in just one moment. We're also going to give it a little bit of margin. Now, you know what, let's actually look at it first, and then we can kind of see why we need this. And here's what we're looking at here. I'm going to bring up the inspector, and actually let's bring the inspector right on this. Okay, so here's our row, and you could kind of see what's happening. On the left side, right on this side, there's a little bit more space. And the reason for that is we're using a pseudo after element and it's not being considered. So I want to move it over from the right to the left a little so it seems more centered. So let's do that right now. So right after space evenly, margin right. That'll be 2.8 rem. And now we should look, yes, much more centered. It looks much better to me. Cool, we have a very, very good looking checkout right now. We need to get this all hooked up, and we need to start creating tokens and sending it to our back end to complete some payments, which we will do on the next video. Follow me right over there. Thanks so much for being with me, and keep coding.